Over the long history of Nintendo's great competitive multiplayer games, the Mario Kart series has consistently been one of the best, as its simple gameplay mechanics and extremely fun replayability make it enjoyable for people of all ages. However, you'll have a huge competitive advantage if you learn the several shortcuts that are present in basically every course in every game. Some will only shave a few seconds off your time, and some will save you several minutes. My name is Copycat, and welcome to the best shortcuts in every Mario Kart game. Before I get this video started, if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button to stay notified when I upload new videos. The very first game in the series is Super Mario Kart for the SNES. This game has a wide variety of regular shortcuts, and glitch ones which are more or less easy to pull off. When I say regular shortcuts, I'm talking about alternative pathways the developers intentionally put in the game, forcing the player to find them for themselves. A good example of this is in Ghost Valley, where there's a thin wooden pathway allowing you to skip an entire turn in the race. There's one other small skip like this in Mario Circuit 3, where you can drive through a small gap in the wall, and in Vanilla Lake 2 where you can cross a few ice flows, but they aren't really as relevant as they are in later titles. However, in Super Mario Kart, one of the items that can only be found in this game is the feather that allows the user to perform a high jump. This is used to no end in creating shortcuts for yourself, and basically any wall, obstacle, or gap can be jumped across, meaning there are endless possibilities for time savers. Another item that could be used to skip small parts in courses is the mushroom, as it can give you a boost across surfaces that would normally slow you down. It can also be used in combination with the jump button to bonk off any wall, allowing you to skip extremely large sections of each course. If you hop into a wall and use a mushroom at the same time, you'll be put into a glitch state where you'll actually get a longer boost if you hold down the drift button. This occurs until you hit an obstacle or break yourself. The final more normal shortcuts in this game involve using the sloped ramps and manipulating that mechanic to your advantage. One of the ways to do this is to land on a solid barrier with your character facing the direction you want to go. You'll actually bonk off those barriers, letting you skip a larger portion of that course than the developers intended. Finally, it's time to look at the game's glitch shortcuts. This is unfortunately a problem that most Mario Kart titles have and actually allow you to complete a lap in a very unintended way. There are way too many specific ones in this game to go over, so I'll just show you a few. One of the easiest ones takes place in Ghost Valley, where you can immediately face backwards at the start, then start driving at the 3 blocks just off the edge of the starting line. If you hop to the left of those blocks and just slightly touch them, Lakitu will then put you back on course, but an entire lap will have counted, putting you in first place. This can actually be done in every Ghost Valley course, and a few other ones in the game too. There's another lap skip in Donut Plains 1 where you need to immediately veer left at the starting line and begin to jump wildly at this blue section of the wall, alternating between L and R. This will trick the game into thinking you're on the other side, effectively allowing you to complete the lap. Surprisingly, this can actually be done in several courses. There are a few other glitch shortcuts in this game, but these two are by far the best. For those of you who've ever played Mario Kart 64, then you know it was one of the first games in the series to have some intentionally made skips. These only occurred in a small amount of courses, including the Koopa Beach Cave skip, this risky gap in Yoshi's Valley, or the Rainbow Road long jump. There are also a few unintentional skips that don't quite qualify as glitches. One example of these is the Wario Stadium shortcut, where right at the starting line you can aim left and jump off the dirt mound over the wall to the area on the other side. What many people don't know is that here you can actually bonk off the wall and make it back over to the finish line area, theoretically being able to complete this course in no time flat. Of course, doing this perfectly first try is no easy feat and will take hours of practice. The mushroom is also a very important item to aid you in bonking off and clearing certain walls you're definitely not supposed to. You can do this in Mario Raceway, Luigi's Raceway, and Choco Mountain. Now, in terms of glitch lap shortcuts in this game, there's actually a lot, but I'm just going to show you a few of my favorites. One of these is the Yoshi Valley shortcut glitch, which requires you to grab at least one mushroom from the first set of item boxes. You then need to drive backwards and try to direct your cart so it's aiming towards the egg just to the right of the tree. Next, you have to drive towards the cliff edge and boost with the mushroom towards the dark patch on the cliff side. If you hit this spot correctly, then Lakitu will get very confused and place you just past the finish line, counting that lap as being completed. If you are able to grab a triple mushroom as your first item, then you can actually repeat this process 2 more times. In Royal Raceway, there's a glitch shortcut that will allow you to skip a vast portion of the course. What you have to do is drift around the sharp corner closest to the river, then quickly drift left towards the river and maintain your speed. Jump at the last second, and if you see a "pump" exclamation, then you'll know you've done it correctly. Lakitu will actually think that you've attempted to use the huge ramp and will place you right before it. If you then launch off that ramp all the way left to the finish line, Lakitu will also get confused and place you a lot farther in the course than you should be. On Rainbow Road, you can also perform a lap skip if you shoot a green shell against the wall just before the finish line and attempt to hit yourself out of bounds. If you timed it just perfectly, then you'll go tumbling through the air to the right of the finish line, technically out of bounds but still completing the lap. When Lakitu picks you up, he'll get fooled into thinking that you haven't completed the lap yet and he'll put you right before the finish line. If you cross that line again, it will count as another full lap completed. In DK Jungle Parkway, immediately at the start, drive backwards towards the tunnel and aim your car towards the left edge of the entrance. Drive directly at that area, and if you did it properly, then you'll glitch in and out of bounds, tricking the game into thinking you've driven through most of the course. Oddly enough, you don't even have to pass the finish line, as Lakitu will prompt you on which lap you're on in the middle of the cave. Finally, the hardest lap skip takes place in Choco Mountain. Doing this perfectly is almost impossible to pull off, and requires you to have at least one mushroom. What you have to do is face the left wall just past the starting line and boost up it ever so slightly, clipping out of bounds, which once again will fool the game into thinking you drove through the entire course. Now, actually doing this properly is about a 1 in 40 chance, so just imagine how skilled Beck Abney must be. Although it did take him 722 tries to finally do it.
Here we go. Oh my god!
Mario Kart Super Circuit is generally regarded as the worst game in the series, as it was very limited to the Game Boy Advance technology at the time, meaning it's extremely glitchy. With the help of a mushroom, basically every single barrier can be jumped over, and in certain parts you can literally drive out of bounds underwater, as Lakitu doesn't really know how to do his job in this game. In terms of lap skips, there's one in Shy Guy Beach which requires you to have the triple mushrooms, using them to boost yourself in a 360-degree motion, crossing the water barrier. Here you're actually passing through the dark water, which would usually stop you in any other game. In Lakeside Park, you can once again use a mushroom to boost yourself across an entire portion of the lake, skipping the majority of the course. I could go on and on showing you more of these in this game, but I'll spare you with those two, as you'll just have to take my word when I say this game is just straight up broken. Mario Kart Double Dash is the game where Nintendo started to add many more obvious shortcuts or alternative routes. There's the chain chomp pathway in Luigi's Circuit, the weird pipe in Peach Beach that actually doesn't save you any time, another weird pipe shortcut on Mushroom Bridge, the cool tunnel in Yoshi's Circuit, and the several pathways in Mushroom City. There are a few others if you use a mushroom during certain sections of certain courses, like in Peach Beach, where you can use a mushroom and a well-timed jump to get over the barrier to the other side. In terms of glitch shortcuts, there are a few, but a lot less than in Mario Kart 64. There's the Waluigi Stadium skip, where you have to gain speed by turbo drifting into the corner, then boosting up into the wall so you get bonked upwards. If you get enough air, you'll enter a void, where Lakitu will have to pick you up and place you on the ramp before the finish line. This is very finicky, and getting the proper height can be difficult. Another glitch shortcut takes place in Bowser's Castle, and what you have to do is have a blue shell, releasing it just as you go out of bounds right at the finish line. This will send you way farther along in the level, however this seems a bit hard as you have to intentionally be in last place to get a blue shell anyways, so yeah, I'm not really sure about this one. Mario Kart DS, the second handheld game in the series, has only a few developer-made skips and a few glitched ones. In Delfino Square, you can drift into the ledge near the Little Parquet, allowing you to jump across the river towards the dock area. In DK Pass, you can drift around the tree area, which will allow you to cut the corner instead of taking the wide turn. In terms of glitch shortcuts, there's one in Yoshi's Circuit where right at the beginning of the course, you need to drive directly into the water to the left. When Lakitu puts you back on track, then turn around and drive back into the water. If you're placed right before the starting line, then turn around and drive backwards until Lakitu appears. When he gets back on screen, backtrack, and when you pass the finish line, a lap will be completed. In Wario Stadium, you can use the Dirt Moguls and a mushroom to boost out of bounds through the map. If you did it correctly, you will then be placed closer to the finish line, saving a few seconds. Finally, on Rainbow Road, there's a considerable lap skip if you turn around just after the ring section and mushroom boost just to the left of the giant pipe. If you hit it just right, then Lakitu will place you much farther along in the course right before the corkscrew. Mario Kart Wii has a large amount of normal shortcuts and an even larger amount of glitched ones. In terms of normal ones, there's the Mushroom Skip in Mushroom Gorge, the Chain Chomp shortcut in Mario Circuit, cutting through the storefront in Coconut Mall, using the quarter pipes to maintain speed and angles in DK Summit, the stairway in Daisy Circuit, the secret tunnel in Maple Treeway, and many more that I don't even have time to go over in just this video. Like I said, there are also plenty of glitch shortcuts that save you massive amounts of time. The first of these takes place in Grumble Volcano, where you can use the small ramp to get to the large rock area just before the finish line. If you travel in a counterclockwise motion, then each time you go around the rock, a lap will be completed for some reason. In Dry Ruins, you can actually drive completely out of bounds for a little bit if you use your mushroom to boost yourself up to the right platform next to the finish line. Here you can drive all the way right and end up in the small bridge area. Mushroom Gorge has a very complex glitch where you need to turn backwards just after the start and face your cart towards the bouncy mushroom. Next, use a mushroom item to boost yourself off, then bounce off the obstacle, which will allow you to drive up the side of the mountain. Here, you'll end up near the cave entrance where the game will think you've driven the whole course, allowing you to exploit this strategy for a very low time. During Bowser's Castle, you can actually clip through the floor to the course above if you use the right corner of the end of the half pipe. This one is quite difficult to master on your first try, so practice definitely makes perfect. Wario's Gold Mine has a very interesting lap skip that requires you to have a mushroom to pull off. Right near the starting line, turn around and face the right pipe just underneath the bridge. Boost towards this pipe and jump with the objective of bonking off it, which will force you through the bridge. Next, drive backwards a bit until you're just through the tunnel's entrance. If you did it correctly, the game will think you have driven the entire lap. Finally, my favorite lap skip in this entire game has to be the one in Coconut Mall, which requires you to clip out of bounds by facing your cart backwards just after the storefront shortcut. Here, aim for the triangle-shaped gap, and if you did it correctly, you'll bonk off the railing and get pushed into this weird out-of-bounds area. You can drive through the walls of the mall to the parking lot where you can actually lap skip the entire course by just going in a wide circle. This one is insane and must have taken a large amount of experimentation to actually find. Mario Kart 7 falls in the same category as Mario Kart Wii, as there are several obviously made developer shortcuts and even more glitched ones. The normal shortcuts include the secret path next to the jump in Daisy Hill, the multiple side pathways in Woohoo Loop, getting above the brick wall in Piranha Plant Slide by holding down on the joystick when you're gliding, the path through the castle in Makawahu, the Bowser's Castle shortcut, and finally using gliding to your advantage to skip a large portion of Rainbow Road. Also, in some of the old courses that they added in this game, they put in a few boosts, ramps, and glider ramps, which weren't there before, but do let you save some more time. Now it's time to talk about the wide array of glitches. Now, just to note, a lot of these glitches are patched if you've updated the game, so let's just say theoretically you haven't done that, you're not playing online, and you're just playing in the normal cups. First, we're going to look at the Woohoo Loop glitch shortcut, where you need to mushroom boost just to the left of this tree towards the water below. If you did it properly, you'll be placed way farther into the course, skipping an entire lap. You can do a very similar glitch in this course near the lighthouse if you once again use a mushroom to boost into the water. Here, Lakitu will put you right before the finish line. In DK Jungle, just as you enter the temple, use a mushroom to boost into the void, aiming for the corner. If you did it just right, then Lakitu will place you right before the glider ramp, shaving off some valuable seconds. In Bowser Castle 1, right after the thwomps, you can drive straight and jump over the barrier into the lava. When you get placed back on course, you'll have skipped an entire curve. In Neo Bowser City, you have to use a combination of mushroom boost and the glider ramp to make it on this raised ledge just past the finish line. Here, you need to reverse ever so slightly off the edge so your cart is angled upwards, then mushroom boost into a jump, which will allow you to clip through the course above you. By the way, this is very hard. The final glitch shortcut I'm going to talk about takes place in Makawoohoo. After you pass the second lap right before the cave, boost to your right into the water. If you did it far enough, you'll actually get placed way past the cave section right near the finish line. Some of these are just downright insane. The final game we're going to look at, one that spans over 2 consoles, is Mario Kart 8. Oddly enough, this game doesn't have any glitch shortcuts that I could find, but it does have a wide variety of normal ones that I'll go over. In Thwomp Ruins, right near the end of the course, there's a very small platform that allows you to skip a slight turn. During the last lap of this course, a shortcut in the center of the pond opens up, allowing you to hit a glide ramp. In Toad Harbor, there's a boost ramp to the left of the bridge where you can quickly use another boat boost ramp to gain speed. There's also an alternate route you can take here that will save you a little bit of time. At the end of the track, you can quickly cut left down an alleyway, which will only save you about a second. In Shy Guy Falls, there's an alternate route if you gain enough speed hitting the glide ramp, then take the upper path, saving some time. In Mount Wario, you can drift directly off the cliff just before the first checkpoint, crossing the gap and getting a bit of a boost. Right at the end of Cliff Top Cruise, there are 2 giant leaps that you can use to cut the corner towards the finish line. In the second lap of Bone Dry Dunes, a sand geyser appears that you can use to bonk off of and get to the wooden platform above. In Ice Ice Outpost, if you hit the right angle, then you can actually go through both of the shortcuts in one go. This is kinda tough though, so it takes some practice. Finally, in Hyrule Circuit, if you hit all the switches, you can unlock the Master Sword, letting you cut right through the middle of the castle. Of course, there's also a bunch of skips that involve using a mushroom to get more of a boost. Some of the best are the donut path at the end of Sweet Sweet Canyon, the shortcut right at the end of Mute City, the bookshelf shortcut in Twisted Mansion, splitting the fork in the road in Mount Wario, and finally going across sand and bone-dried dunes. If I'm mistaken and you guys know of any glitch shortcuts in this game, then please let me know in the comments below. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below if I missed any shortcuts that you really love, and of course subscribe to my channel while hitting that bell button. Also, please follow my Instagram at Copycat Gamer, where I upload some cool clips and some items from my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!